Hello and welcome to another game, sort of Fury of Dracula. As you can tell from that opening thing, I'm not actually playing this game. I am viewing this game, giving a commentary. I will endeavor. Well, I was going to say I'm going to endeavor not to be too critical, but who am I kidding? I'm going to be totally critical. Just try not to take it personally. That's the whole point, is to criticize, and hopefully people can learn something. Maybe the players can, or maybe you can. We're playing with the POV of the hunters here because that is more information and more useful, I think. We have a sort of an interesting, different setup here than what I usually do. Definitely don't feel like you have to do my setup or even anywhere near my setup. This is more a little closer to what might be referred to as a vice setup, where you set your hunters up on two halves of the board and then you sort of have them move towards each other, so that Dracula has trouble moving in a direction that isn't towards a hunter. One way to do that is to start a hunter in 11 and in 10, here and here. That's an interesting way to do it because they can still jump to each other to scan if it's with Mina. Although the hunter in 10 is really far away. You have to really hope that he gets a horse. I say he because usually it's Godleming that you do there. And yeah, I tried recording this video before and it didn't load. I'm viewing this on YouTube. I don't know why it just froze up, but I downloaded the video, so hopefully it'll work now. Hopefully. I don't know. YouTube can be weird sometimes. So yeah, we're getting a usual setup. We got newspaper reports. I say we because I always speak from the perspective of the hunters because I like being a good guy, as you should as well. Planned ambush is a pretty good reveal because it doesn't change much. You know, getting something like money trail would be a big reveal, or great strength. Uh, Dogs, they'll probably want to hold on to because the whole saboteur meta is kind of big right now. Although, since Dracula sees the dogs, he may not want to go with the usual saboteur combo. He would certainly not want to commit with using, say, bats or fog with the combo, where you move, drop a vampire, and then protect it with a saboteur, bats, or fog. That's an ascending level of value. Going with a Dark Call opening, which I think doing a single move is maybe better before Dark Call. Dark Call is good in the first week, but right now he's just sort of waiting for the hunters. When you at least throw down one encounter, even if it's a nothing encounter, it kind of puts the hunters in a position to need to go for that thing. But that's just how I play. I can understand wanting to get a dark call early. This also prevents him from misdirecting right away, because his current location is here, and he can't misdirect his current location. Two newspaper reports is not great for the hunters. Generally, the one newspaper report is all you need. I mean, there's three of them in the deck, so you're going to draw them. He's going for horse economy, which makes sense because they drew horses. You don't have to go for horse economy. For example, I've seen the first couple minutes of this because again I tried to record this. Seward is going to get two 3/2s, and he might want to hold on to those because the person who starts in Western Europe will get a lot of value from good rails, unless his plan is to rail Seward down to Marseille and then start using horses in the event that he draws them. And that's less of a plan and more of a reaction. This game is a lot more about reaction than it is about planning. Which is part of the reason why I make all of these videos, because it's really hard to take into account every single possible thing that could happen. And so it's better to just play the game and then point out and be like, oh, this is a thing that should be done, or oh, this other thing should be done, or this is the circumstance that They're in right now, yeah. So he couldn't misdirect. He had to do a normal move. Now he can misdirect, and he definitely should. Because of newspaper, he doesn't want newspaper reports going off any sooner than he can make it. He wants it to go off as late as possible. So we'll keep drawing. A horses is very good. The heavenly hosts, that's a little annoying. He'll have to discard the knife, which is unfortunate. So he's going to want to move so he can trade that heavenly host around and maybe trade the horse around. Or move Mina. Escape routes, kind of a nothing draw. Chartered carriage is good, and it's good on Van Helsing because he can get it over to the people who need it, which would be either Mina or Lord Godalming. Evil Presence doesn't reveal anything. Whether or not to start a hunter in 8 or in 34 is an interesting question. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. I've found that when you don't start somebody in Madrid, Draculas will tend to hang out in Spain, which sometimes means you can catch some Dracula there with some hired scouts or something. Because when you hang out in Spain a lot, your trail is very interwinding. So just picking 2 in Spain when the trail is even as much as 4 long can really allow you to catch a lot of Draculas because there aren't a whole lot of cities in Spain, and so Draculas will have to. It's not like they can make a big long trail like they can in Central Europe, and where you're just sort of guessing. If you guess 2 cities in Spain and you know their trail is 4 long, you can guess 2 cities and almost eliminate Spain as a possibility, almost. Um, and Eastern Europe has a similar situation. In this area, you can guess 50 and 10, or 49 and 10, or 55 and 10, something like that, and you can really cut off a lot of theoretical locations, and that's nice. So let's see. Early game is always so. Yeah, he really needs to move here. Yeah, and he's doing so, which is the correct move. Yeah, you either move Mina to. And this isn't Godalming to Mina or Mina to Godalming. This is not as bad because. Oh, bullets with 2 guns is pretty good. Because you can trade the chartered carriage if he needs to. Ooh, lots of fast horses. He should probably get rid of the dogs because it's unlikely that Van Helsing's going to jump on a Dracula trail. And because of the whole mess up with Dark Call, the fear of the hide combo isn't as severe. So I wouldn't worry too much about holding on to dogs. Probably want to get rid of the bullets, yeah. Hired scouts. Okay, this will be interesting. I would definitely go for a Spain here. But this is totally a psychology thing. Some people would want to guess Italy. Some people might want to guess. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, so it looks like he's guessing. He's rejecting. Okay, yep, that's it. Frankfurt and Strasbourg. Yeah, those are decent guesses. It's kind of far away from where the hunters are, so you wanna guess the things that are the worst possible. That Dracula being there would be the worst for you. Oh yeah, they're talking about it being recorded. Yeah, gonna be a lot of trading and passing. Yeah, this is a little. That's I think the correct move because Godalming draws more items faster. The chances of drawing one that he'll want to hold on is higher. I would have also traded the ticket there personally. Having a white ticket on Godalming is really annoying. Uh, a white one because he draws 2, so it really limits his ability to use that ability properly. This is fine. He's wanting to improve his horse economy, holding on to at least the 1-3-2. I can understand the reason to do it. Aha. Yeah, this is just huh. Chartered carriage to Seward. That's interesting. I would have put that. I would have given that to Mina or Godalming because they're in yellow rails. A chartered carriage on Seward isn't all that big of a deal because he can already move three, unless they're wanting to move him down into Italy. But it's much better to move Mina or Godalming down into Italy. But then again, you don't actually know where Dracula is, so I wouldn't have even traded the chartered carriage. Uh, I would have traded some around because Van Helsing was getting a little heavy with events, and you want to be very careful about Van Helsing getting full of events because often he'll need to trade events, and you want to try to keep everybody under max so they can keep drawing new events without discarding. And things like Escape Route, Blood Transfusion, Long Night, even maybe even something like Planned Ambush don't really count towards your limit because those are kind of lower end cards, and you don't feel too bad about discarding it if it means you get something cool like a Renewed Vigor or a Money Trail or a Mystic Research, those higher end cards. Okay. It's an interesting choice on whether or not he wants to discard dogs. Discarding the rifle. Yeah, so he's going to keep the dogs because he's wanting to protect from the Saboteur trick, which makes sense. He might be able to afford the dogs. I think I would have kept the bullets there since he has two guns. Um, he's going a little heavy on dogs because the whole misdirect thing happened, and he has movement cards. I don't I don't think he necessarily needs to worry too much about the this thing maturing, but it might. He's playing very safe, which I can definitely respect. Yeah. As great as it is to have two garlics, you never want to discard Heavenly Host. See, here he'd want to grab tickets, but it's annoying to. Yeah, so he's checking. So honestly, I would just trade the white one, which you should have done last time. But sometimes you forget to do these kind of things, and you have a decent number of night actions. He'll he needs to get the wax cylinders, start trading those around, because wax cylinders can reveal the hide, and if he finds out he doesn't have the hide, that means he doesn't need to worry about the saboteur trick, and he can start discarding his dogs and getting real items, which is important to do. Being down an item is huge in this game, and he's already going heavy on the horses. So he's like Godalming, for example, only has one combat item, and that's scary. I think he has all three horses. So, yeah, he's thinking, yeah, you want to hold on to that 3-2. Yeah, that's the correct move if you want to pass. As much as you want to improve horse economy, really can't. Yeah, you want to trade for wax cylinders. Yeah, he's checking. Yep, it's Godalming has the wax cylinders. He's going to trade for it. Grab the wax cylinders, trade. It doesn't really matter. Good luck. Yeah, and you want to keep the escape route on Van Helsing because he can trade it to somebody if they happen to need it. A psychic bond would not be remiss. Yeah, it's worth doing. Looks like there's spectators who have seen this game, and now there are even more spectators because they are watching on this channel. So Dracula hasn't fed, which is interesting to me. Usually after a dark call you see a feed. I wonder if he's waiting to wolf form and then feed when the hunters get close. That could be interesting. He has good luck. I would still do the day supply. Don't worry about burning an event. If you draw a really good one, um, just discard good luck. It's not like the best card in the world. Discard the dogs. Yeah. Definitely discard the crucifix. He's trying. Yeah, you don't need the dogs at this point. And he's thinking, well, maybe I do. What if he did the hide trick? If he did the hide trick, you can still probably get to him. Yeah, he's wanting to play it very defensively. Okay, all right. So, and it's like, oh my gosh, you discarded Heavenly Host. It's the worst thing ever. It's like, okay, sure, I would consider it a bad move, but I totally understand why he did it. Vampire Lair over Good Luck. That's interesting. If you want to go for night supplies, you can hold on to the Good Luck. I think Vampire Lair is good to hold on to. Um, I think it's better than Good Luck, personally. But I'd say they're of similar value. So it's not like a huge misplay. I would have held on to the Vampire Lair. So yeah, he has escape route to discard, so this is fine. Yeah, I would discard the dogs because Dracula's very likely not in this area, and if he is, then it's a good situation to be in. Rufus Smith, you want to take him for the ally, which he will do. There he is. So next turn is where things are going to kick off, so to speak. Because that's when this is now he doesn't need this because he has the newspaper report. So yeah, just do the search. I mean, he has two newspaper reports, so if he really does need to discover, and that's a good choice. You want to check somewhere in Italy? I would check maybe Florence. Would be a pretty good choice, or maybe 37. Those tend to lock down a lot of stuff. Naples. That is. Oh, here I am trying to click, thinking that I'm playing the game, and thinking that mousing over will reveal the locations. Naples is what, 40? Sorry if I guessed that correctly. I'm sorry. As an American, I am required to be wrong about things regarding European stuff. It's one of our laws. Okay, so yeah, don't be afraid to pass at night, especially now. The hunter player is in a good position, so he doesn't need to take risks at this point, which is part of the reason I think why he discarded the Heavenly Host in order to get the dogs. He's really afraid of a hoax. Yeah, he needs to. No, don't do it. No, yeah, you need to trade those wax cylinders over to John Seward. And I still think the chartered carriage should go to somebody in Eastern Europe, but that's just me. Yeah, John Seward's kind of the last person you wanted on. He's counting 2, 4, 6, 7, which means there's 18. Which means, yeah, I would not night supply. What if he drew a Sensationalist Press? Actually, drawing Sensationalist Press wouldn't be the worst because then he could play a second newspaper reports. Which is. Yeah. That's pretty intense. I'm not sure what he means. But. Okay. Newspaper reports. Yeah, I can't decipher the commentary. Alright, so he did do the hide. Granada. That's in Spain. Yep, see, like I said, a lot of people, you don't start in Spain, maybe check Spain. That gets into a psychology thing, which is a lot of fun. I don't think he needs to, he's counting right now to see, do I need to use Renewed Vigor? Now, Seward has dogs, so I really don't think he does. I think he's just fine. He can go there. He doesn't have a stake, so he may not necessarily be able to kill the vampire, but if it's a vampire, it's not that many points. If it's a hoax, he doesn't need to fight it. He just becomes delayed. So, yeah, he's in a fine situation. It's probably a hoax. Yeah, Granada is 26. So yeah, now it's time to start moving. He has prepared his horse economy well, so he's able to boogie real fast. Yeah, I would get on down to maybe, well, either 34 or 1. I would go for 34. Because there's a somewhat high chance that, no, using your charter carriage won't do you any good. Oh, wow. Okay, I would not use this here. He doesn't need to hit this turn. He's really afraid of a hoax. I understand being afraid of a hoax. You don't need to actually do that. The dogs protect you, and you can get there. Ooh, bats. Okay. Well, looks like I was wrong, at least in that regard. I mean, if Dracula wants to spend a bats in order to mature a hoax, that there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But I mean, bats is one of those really good Dracula cards. It's going to hit you, and using it for a hoax, it's like, okay, that's fair. We'll get you some other ways. I don't think he can get there and stop it, so I would actually consider doing a bunch of more day supplies. So the hoax is going to go off, and when the hoax, because of that, grab all the events you can now, or consider doing that. Bats is very good if you can draw it, and I'm guessing that's why he used the Dark Call, was to try to dig that. Now, of course, Dracula is nearby one of the strongest hunters, so he's trading position for the ability to trigger a hoax, which maybe that's worth it. Hoaxes are pretty powerful. Um, what I would do is I would day supply until you see a Dracula event, then stop day supplying and move. That seems odd. Not sure why he did that. It's not like this is a reckless vampire. And he can... I mean, I guess... Okay, this is a night fight. So... Don't use the pistol at night. It's night. Yeah, don't use the rifle at night either. I would either punch or escape or dodge. Yeah, it's each of the basic cards. With a new vampire, you pretty much have to kill him at daytime. And he has time to try to kill this vampire. He's not trying to jump on Dracula. Dracula will likely go to sea, but Rufus Smith is in play, so that's not too bad. Now, he doesn't want to overcommit to Spain, which is part of the reason why I suggested doing those day supply actions. You just let the hoax mature, you get the events that you can. Sometimes hoaxes mature, and you just have to kind of try to win instead, or win anyway. Okay, alright, so that's a win there. And it suggests that his hand is bad, which means maybe now you can escape. Which would be a good move, I think. Don't try to get greedy and fight the vampire. Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, you wouldn't lose a whole lot if you used a pistol, but... I mean, if anyone can kill a vampire alone, it's John Stewart, but... I mean, it's 3 points. It's really not that big of a deal. There's no rumor token on this vampire. This is the least... If you had held on to the vampire layer, this is literally 1 point. And so you wouldn't have to worry about it. But, hey, it's working out here, so you can't complain about it working. I still would have considered running away. But I understand his position. He's like, oh my gosh, a hoax is about to mature, which is going to put me on the back foot. If a vampire also matures, that's even more going to put me on the back foot. So I need to really... I'd actually consider maybe dodging here. Or using one of the weapons. It seems likely that he's going to do strength at this point, since it's obvious that Seward is going to stick around. But yeah, he's wanting to be less on the back foot. He's wanting to... It's like, okay, if you're going to mature the hoax, I'm going to kill your vampires so that my guys can focus on chasing Dracula instead of dealing with encounters. The reason why I think that's not a good idea is that because it's still the first week and there's only one to spare, you really want to avoid getting into a fight with Dracula. Yeah, it was just really obvious. So... Okay, it's like, yes, I was correct, and I said I should have dodged, or should have dodged here. But the previous one, I said escape when it did claws, which I think still is, overall, generally a win scenario. That would be a good scenario. But, it's not like the best thing. Obviously, I think the pistol was better. He's probably going to mesmerize or strength, so I would dodge here. I think maybe people don't dodge enough. Or maybe this player doesn't dodge enough. I'm not using names because I don't want to embarrass anyone, although I will post a link to the full video if you want to watch it. I forgot what he played. He played a weapon, right? Yeah, it's really... He has 3 more counter cards. Right, and there's another one. And now his weapons are pretty worthless. It's a rough situation to be in. I mean, I guess you could throw out a weapon. It just seems really obvious that he's going for a weapon here. So why would he not go for a Mesmerize or Strength? Maybe he didn't draw one. But, you want to kind of... You don't generally want to play based on luck. And this isn't going to kill him. Because of the Mesmerize. Yeah, I think a dodge was a better move. This is fine, but a 1 health vampire is not that much better than a than a 6 health vampire. I mean, it's a little better. He needs to dodge here. There's no question. Yeah. Yeah, there's no question here. He doesn't want to risk dying. He might want to do a day heal. I think that's a mistake. I think I would day supply and then night heal, and then maybe go for the fight. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. Would not do it. If Van Helsing has a... Van Helsing has an escape route. Yeah, he needs to trade the escape route to Seward because it's going to be tempting for Dracula to... Well, okay, he didn't. It's tempting for Dracula to jump on Seward, and I think since Seward is now super weak, yeah, it would definitely... Oh, he's delayed anyway, so we can't do the day supply. Yeah, so we'd have to do a night supply. But there's a lot of turns before that Madrid vampire matures, so there's lots of time. Yeah, he should have traded the escape route to Seward and grabbed that chartered carriage, which never should have been given to Seward, because Seward is now the closest to Dracula. See, yeah, now he's going to attack. Now he doesn't have to worry about the vampire, but yeah, if he had the escape route, Seward wouldn't have had to worry about this. Of course, this has killed the... Oh, he's using wolf form to get there? That, I think, is a mistake. Yeah, that, I think, was a mistake. Now he's stuck in Madrid with a wolf form. And he's got, like, cards around. I would... well, so the question is he going to Fang or is he going to... I wouldn't have done that, no. The question is he going to Fang or is he going to Claw? And then it's basically a coin flip at that point, and I would have picked either the knife or one of the guns. Probably the pistol, maybe because plotting might have been bad. Or maybe the knife because you didn't want him to heal. Yeah, the knife seems like a reasonable choice, but yeah, escaping would... Yeah. Okay, once again, I guess I am correct here. Yeah, escaping was obviously a bad move there. Any of his attacks except for strength would have killed him, and if he didn't have any of those, he could have mesmerized to stop it. If your move is obvious when it comes to combat, maybe don't do it unless there are so few negative matchups that you think, well, statistically it's unlikely for him to even have the card that beats this play, so I'm going to play it. That's actually why Heavenly Host is so good. Heavenly Host is a obvious play, but since it wins against everything except Fangs, often you still play it because it's like, yeah, but he may not draw Fangs. There's actually a half-decent chance that he didn't draw Fangs. And that's part of the reason why you have that happen. Now, he's going to... Seward is going to go to Madrid. Seward's not going to lose that much, which is good. I don't think you need the stake, so I would consider supplying here. Yeah, I don't know about this. here you want to move Mina, but this is what I was talking about: overcommitting with your troops. This is a strategy game about troop deployment more than it is a deduction game, and you gotta hold people in reserve in order to deal with Dracula when he escapes. Now, that said, the other argument against that is, well, Dracula's used his wolf form, so his ability to escape is greatly reduced. And it's like, yeah, but because of that, it's so obvious that he's going to go to sea that it's much better to stay back, do those day supplies, and get that value from Rufus Smith that you just, yeah, you should just hold back. Uh, that's one word for the battles. It's calling them epic. I am the young whippersnapper. Oh yeah, I guess Scott Sword, I believe, is he's a lot newer to the game, so don't judge him for that. Oh, good. It's just a vampire. It's not a hoax. Okay, well this isn't as bad. This is much better. So it could have been worse. So now, and yeah, didn't lose a whole lot here. Yeah, now, yeah, save renewed vigor. Now's not the time to use it. I still think you hold. You move in with like one or two, like, so you move in with one person because Seward's gonna be fighting. Oh, and here's that bug. Yeah, so Seward shouldn't be delayed here, but he is. Um, I wish they had fixed this bug. I should report this. When you die, you should lose your delayed status. You don't continue to be delayed. Like when you die, you should lose your bats. You don't. Okay, so he's supplying with Godleming, which is a good idea. Yeah, see, but he should have gotten his action. Ah well. Um, so he's holding Godleming in reserve. This is an incorrect move. You want to move to 29 because, especially with Van Helsing, because you really need to keep him on land. That's actually one reason why sometimes I'll swap Van Helsing and Seward's locations, because losing a night action for Van Helsing is actually pretty bad. Because Mystic Research, nice. See, for example, right here, it would be great if during this night action Van Helsing could have traded for that Mystic Research, but he can't because he's at sea. So sending Van Helsing to sea, very bad. Um, I might I might switch to that more permanently with Seward starting in England and Van Helsing starting in Madrid. That'll make me feel a little bad because it's like, oh, one of my best characters is just sticking around. He's in a corner where he's for sure not going to be doing anything. Yeah, his only action is to supply. I'll need to remember to report this bug. Um, yeah, he's probably like, what's going on? Why can't I do anything? It's like, because you're in a city, and when you're in a city, the only thing that you can do is supply. This is not a bug. This is an actual rule. No, yeah. See, he thinks it's a bug. No, so he's actually in the hospital, and being in the hospital space is different than being in the city space. Um, yeah. So when you supply in a hospital, yeah, he's confused by this. And that's fine. It's a confusing rule. It makes more sense in the physical board game. Yeah, when you supply in the hospital, you don't draw an event. You just draw an item. Yeah, and Mr. Green is trying to explain that. It's like, no, you don't draw the event. You just draw the item. Yeah. Okay, so he's figured it out. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, yeah. There's no risk for supplying in a hospital, and that's to sort of counter the whole killing a hunter when they're and then going to the city that they're in and hiding, and then putting down two vampires. So when they leave the hospital, they get ambushed by two vampires. It allows you to just stay in the hospital supplying, and then once you're tooled up, then you can go out and fight the vampires. Otherwise, there's a tendency to get like spawn camped, um, which you also couldn't do in second edition, but for a different reason. In second edition, there was a special location that was like around here, that was the Hospital of St. Mary's, and you always went specifically there when you died, which was interesting. So the hospitals weren't spread around the map like they are. If you think, oh man, I wish there were more hospitals. I wish there was one in England, or something like, bro. In second edition, there was one hospital you went to, and it was next to two cities that had just normal roads on them. So it was, oh, that's a good get. Uh, It'll get rid of that encounter, and then now, yeah, he needs to be thinking about. Oh, he'll want to discard the knife. Yeah, discard the knife. Right. You do not want to lose both of those white ones. He wants to move out, which he will do. You need to land. Yeah, not go. And 8 is a good place to land because theoretically Dracula could be here. He's not. So now they definitely want to be sitting in place. Does she have something that she can discard? I don't think so. Yeah, well, planned ambush would be kind of a bad thing to discard. So it makes sense to move here. It's a little unfortunate. Okay, yeah, so he's checking the furthest edges. So it's obvious Dracula's on the coast. He's probably hiding on fog. And so what he needs to do now, and this is why discarding Vampire Lair was a mistake, because this is the perfect circumstance for using Vampire Lair. You just kind of chill out. You not reconnoiter. I've been using that term incorrectly. You reassess. You draw more items. Yes, Dracula has 7 points, but you have Rufus Smith in play. It's still only the first week. There's a whole lot of game that has to happen yet. And you have Mystic Research. So the amount of good things that you can get into play, really, really high. There's a lot of firepower the hunters have right now. Yes, they discarded one of their heavenly hosts, and that's bad. No, I just hold on to it. Yeah, that's a good trade. There's an argument to be made for trading planned ambush. I like planned ambush on Mina when she has heavenly hosts because playing heavenly hosts as Mina very risky. So totally get having her keep a planned ambush. So probably not go to C yet. He's probably going to move again. Or hide or something, move to 12. And because what he wants to do is he wants to stay at C long enough for wolf form to come off cooldown, and then wolf form from the C, which is going to cause a bunch of damage to Dracula. But he is thinking, okay, I think I can win the time game because I have 7 points, and that totally makes sense. Now, Rufus Smith will get a lot of value doing that, and so because of that, he wants to stay on land as long as he can, because he really wants them to overcommit. And it looks like the hunters are about to overcommit to Iberia, but they're not. He is going to the sea. Interesting. Okay, so what he wants to do here, I would move Godleming to 36. Seward needs the day supply. Mina and Seward, I think, need to take care of the vampires. The other hunters need to move. Yeah, he's thinking, oh, I need to do a day supply, right? No. Don't move into Iberia. Don't move into Iberia. Don't move into Iberia. Okay, good. Moving on to Paris. Very good move. You need a day supply. Yep. All right. That's a bad draw. Double renewed vigor. Heck yes. Oh, okay, never mind. Van Helsing going in actually makes more sense. He has escape route and he has the stake. So yeah, he should move into Iberia. Mina should move out. Don't day Mystic Research. Don't day Mystic Research. No, don't do it. Okay, so here's the thing about Mystic Research. The whole point about Mystic Research is that it makes your night actions good. You can use it as a night action, and then it lets you do other good night actions. Don't waste a day action doing Mystic Research. I would get rid of the garlic. No, dude, you can't. These might be vampires. You have to deal with those. You can't. No. And, okay, night supply here. You just did Mystic Research. The whole point of... Okay, now that I'm getting overly critical. The whole point of Mystic Research is so you can do those night actions. It's really important for John Stewart to get back up to max items. Trading for Lucky Find is fine, but he's not doing that. He's trading for Escape Route. Okay, that's a little weird. Hypnosis is a good draw. And now Mina needs to move up into Spain, or into France, so she can use Hypnosis. He really needed to do that night supply with Seward so that it can start taking care of the encounters. Yeah. So yeah, he's either in the North Atlantic or the Mediterranean. Normally I would say move with Seward, but he has so few items, I would supply again with Seward. Um, and Godleming should supply. Mina should move to 36. And yeah. Yeah, he needs to supply, not move. Don't move because you don't know where Dracula is. You don't know where Dracula is, so don't move. Yes, supply. That's what you need to be doing right now. Okay. Alright, discard one of those guns. Very good. Forewarned, a good card. You need to supply. Yeah, you should have done it at night. A stake is actually exactly what he means. I think Van Helsing should actually move here. Take care of those encounters. The quicker you can clear those encounters, the better it is. And I think they're in 47 and 31. And so if he goes there, if for example he goes to 47, he's actually not that far away from Dracula's Eastern movement because he has good cards. But he's going to day supply because that's what I've said people do, and okay, that works. Local rumors. This may actually help. Okay, so we know that they're in these two locations then. Okay, so she's going to rail. That's fine. I would have preferred doing it with Van Helsing, but what are you going to do? So yeah, he needs to check both of those. 31 and 12. And he knows that they're those because of that card. So let's see which one this is. Oh, interesting. So, did he go back to 26 and then go to 1 and then go to the Mediterranean? That's a possibility. Night Supply. You have Mystic Research. Don't have wasted. Oh my gosh. Mystic Research is one of the best cards in the game. Don't just forget about it. Use it when it is a good time to use it. If someone is not full up on items and events, or even if they're full up on events and aren't full up on items, do the night supply for Mystic Research. Don't save it for long night. That's not a good use of that card. It's better to get the good events. You need the good events. What if you had drawn Money Trail right there? That would have been huge. Or Consecrated Ground. Or so many events that could help. I mean, he has good events right now. He has 2 Renewed Vigors. And he has horses, which means he can really move fast when Dracula lands. Ooh, and he's done a normal land. Okay, so I would have Mina rail to 1 to check to see if he went there. Because if he left from the ocean, then newspaper reports. This will help. Yeah, this will help. Cadiz. Don't play Renewed Vigor. Okay, so we're hitting Cadiz. Okay, so he's. Oh my gosh, he went to Ireland. Guys, don't go to Ireland. It's not a good move. I know it seems like a good move, and okay, sometimes do go to Ireland. Now, does he know what to do about this? Now you want to book it. Because he needs to go to 29. Or, alternatively, he could check 39, and then once he reveals that Dracula isn't there, Van Helsing can go to the ocean, then go to Irish Sea, then land. Although I think it's still better to go 29, English Channel, 33. But yeah, what he needs to do is go to 29. But again, we don't know that he went to Ireland. He could have gone down to 36. So this is fine to guess. He could be in 13. He needs to check Cadiz, and he has a stake, so yeah, that makes sense. You still need to send someone into England, I think. Uh, and Mina should actually probably go to the South Atlantic. And then check. Oh, double vampire. Interesting. Don't play the garlic wreath. Okay, what is this? Okay, you want to use it to protect you from the next card. It's better to not play garlic wreath, just to have another item he doesn't know that you have. The more items he knows that you have, the better it is for him. Playing garlic wreath is bad. The only time I think it's worth it to play garlic wreath is if you get ambushed by a reckless vampire. Yeah, so even if he bites here, it's still worth it. Because, okay, 2 damage on a vampire that can't mature. What does that accomplish? If he's going double vamp here, I hope that they don't mess up. And forget which vampire is real. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. He'll escape, and the garlic wreath does nothing. But it, rarely does anything. Yeah, but my advice, don't play garlic wreath unless you're ambushed by a reckless vampire. When you're ambushed by a reckless vampire, garlic wreath provides some value because it makes it so. Yeah, see, garlic wreath would be great right here, because then if the reckless vampire bites him, then he dies. Yeah, he gets the point, but he'll die, and that's nice. That's good. That's a time when that card is very useful. No, just yeah, don't overthink it. Just try to escape. It's good that these are different, so that when he tries to stake at night, he can stake the Reckless Vampire. Now, he'll need to be careful because he'll stake the Reckless Vampire and then continue to go on to encounter the Reckless Vampire. Yeah, see, if he had saved his Garlic Wreath, and, well, okay. Then he wouldn't even need to stake the Vampire, and he could do a rest action and heal too. But it's not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. So Mina, actually now might be a good time to use Hypnosis. If Mina can get up to Van Helsing, use Hypnosis. That'd be really big, because if they can reveal, oh, he's in Italia, then that means they know that he's in Cadiz. I don't think he is. What are you doing? No! No! Oh my gosh. Okay, this is such a bad move. You had fast horses. You're losing the movement game. This is a game of movement. It's not a game of deduction. I mean, okay, there's an element of deduction in it, but it's so important not to lose track of knowing. What you need to be thinking about right now are what are the possible locations where Dracula could be. He could be here. 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 You have to be able to get ahead of those things. Now, the scariest, in a sense, is Ireland, but you can get ahead of it. Now, I went down here with Godleming because I guess it's fine. It's. I mean, it still would have been better to go up here because once you can just block off here and force Dracula to move into you, it's so good. It's the best thing in the world. But didn't happen. Okay, he's feeding. That makes me think that maybe he's here. Which is pretty good. He'll need to make sure to kill that vampire. I hope he doesn't accidentally mess up and stake the new vampire. That would be unfortunate. And I really hope he doesn't die. What really would be great to trade that escape route to Seward. Wait, why is it day? This is not a good time to use Renewed Vigor. Why is it day? Why didn't Mina use her thing? Did I miss that? Hold on, I'm gonna back up. Did I miss that? That's the fight. So this is the day action, Right, he moves there. What does Mina do? So he passes. What is... Wait, and why didn't Seward stake? Oh my gosh. He didn't use hypnosis. He just did a scan in Iberia? Oh my gosh. Okay, no. Oh man. Because she didn't have hypnosis. That must have been a misclick. Ah, oh, that's really hard. Yeah, because when you use the special for Mina, it's like, do you want to use Psychic Bond? Because there isn't like a card associated with Psychic Bond for the UI, so it always does a, do you want to use Psychic Bond? And then you have to click no, and then you can select one of the items that you can use, and then you want to click Hypnosis. It's really easy to do that incorrectly. Now's not a good time to use Renewed Vigor. I don't know why he didn't stake the Vampire in Cadiz. He wasn't delayed that I know of. So he's going to have to supply or something. Yeah, this is not a good time to use Renewed Vigor. Don't use the horse. What are you doing? He isn't in Iberia. Okay. So you could have railed and then horsed, because once you get to England, horses don't matter. Okay, don't mess this up. You want to stake the Reckless Vampire first. Yes, yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the Reckless Vampire will die. Yeah, Mr. Green is confused because, well, he doesn't actually. He's either in Cagliari or he's in Ireland. And that's the thing. It's not enough to know where Dracula is. You have to also hunt him down. And you have to keep that in mind. If you spend all of your time figuring out where he is and not moving to block him off, you're not going to beat him. And it's more important to have fast movement than it is to know where Dracula is. That's why I'm such a big stickler on, or such a big proponent of horse economy. And it's also why I'm such a big proponent of the whole standing in place and supplying to get items, because those also, and events, because those help you move faster, and they also help you discover Dracula. But even if you just did that and let a vampire mature to know where he started, that's still worth it, because movement is that important. This game is more about movement than it is about deduction. And yeah, I mean, there's deduction in it, and that's a fun part of the game. But yeah, this is just basically a foregone conclusion. The only question is how much damage John Seward is going to take. I would actually, yeah, pistol here is actually a better move than punch, because he might claw, and then you can cancel the claw. Because what you're really wanting to do here is cancel the plotting. Because plotting prevents you from escaping, and if when you're trying to escape, a vampire can get a plotting out, suddenly they can really mess with you. Okay, so it wouldn't have changed anything if you had picked the pistol, or if he had picked the pistol. So in that sense, this is superior because he didn't give away what item he had played. But yeah, you just keep trying to escape. Now, if he mesmerizes here, at that point, you actually then go dodge, maybe, or pistol and then dodge, because at that point, the round is just going to end by going to max round. You don't want to try to escape at that point. Okay, and he's out, and that's fine. He'll be able to heal at night and get back up to 5, because John Seward is real tough, the toughest of all the hunters, and he doesn't have the most hit points, but he has the most items, and since he can recover from fights so quickly, it's really good. He has Renewed Vigor on for some reason. You want to supply here, probably. Don't rest. Don't rest. Don't rest. You can rest at night. Don't rest. Don't rest, John Seward. Movement is okay, I guess, but like, you need items. Why? Why would you go to Lisbon? Because you want to use the chartered carriage to get out of there? if you move to Madrid, oh my gosh. Okay, it's really important that people understand the movement in this. The rail connections and counting to see what the fastest way. That was as good as passing what he just did. He could have day supplied. Healing would have been better than that. Although healing would also have been really bad. Really, going to the South Atlantic is actually what he needed to do. Um, but I guess he was wanting to avoid whatever would have been left in Madrid. Okay, you know how to avoid the thing in Madrid? Go to the South Atlantic. When did you? When you did local rumors in Barcelona, my second season was on the board. Oh yeah, even I didn't catch that. So he actually knows he's in Cagliari. Oh, I feel bad for not catching that. I guess I wasn't paying attention. Um, it said it wasn't adjacent, right? Well, okay. So Mr. Green's kind of trying to help Scott's word out, which is nice of him. He's new, and it's really hard to play hunters. So much to take into, and it sounds like I'm being harsh on him. Honestly, for how new the guy is, playing amazingly, playing really well. It's obvious that he watches good guide videos on this on YouTube. I wish all of the new players that I taught this game were playing as good as he's playing right now. But yeah, it's hard to take into account. And even I missed the whole local rumors thing, revealing that he wasn't in the North Atlantic. Although I thought for sure that wasn't the case. Either way, moving to 31 was still a bad move. So, yeah, Van Helsing needs to move like crazy at this point. Don't go to 4. Well, okay. I guess this move is fine as long as he jumps into the Mediterranean, which he's going to. Okay. I think it would have been better because again, at this point he's chasing Dracula, and you don't want to chase Dracula. You want to get out ahead of Dracula. You want to force Dracula to come to you. And as Dracula, you want to make the hunters move away from you. The most powerful thing you can do in this game is make someone else use their action to help you. That's, I think, what you need to learn from this video. If I could teach one thing in this video that isn't like, about Jesus or something that actually matters, it would be the most powerful thing you can do in this game is making someone else use their action to help you. And I understand being nice to him and giving him free info. I actually really don't believe in that. I believe that if you're training somebody, you should play as hard as you possibly can. Because if you go easy on someone, you actually start teaching them badly. It's like negative teaching. You get them thinking, oh, this is how the game is supposed to go. They play in this certain way, or they usually give this kind of information. Which is why I'm glad that Mr. Green is like, you know where I am, right? Like, he didn't necessarily say. And I think Mr. Green was like, oh, he probably didn't understand the information that he was given, and at that point it's him misunderstanding the UI, and so I want to give him this information because he's new, and that I can understand. Because the UI can be kind of impenetrable, and it's a complicated game, but understanding the information that you're given is an important part of the game. That's a lot of what the deduction about is, and in a lot of ways, that's what deduction is understanding the information that you're given. It's one of the parts of detective work. There's observing information, and then being able to process that information. And then there's also like interviews and whatnot, being able to get information, and then there's also inference. Is a big thing, but that was me when I was thinking up, hey, if someone was making a detective RPG, what would the different stats be? And I was like, deduction, inference, observation, interrogation, and then of course gun, because I'm an American. There has to be like a gun stat. We like to think of detectives as like gun wielding types of things, but it's a lot of cerebral. So yeah, he's in the Tyrrhenian. He was in Cagliari. So the question is, can he catch up to him in time? He has a lot of time, but can he catch up to him in time? He has a lot of horses, but I don't know. Now, Dracula doesn't have any events, so that's something. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, 60 is better. I can understand him being like, do I want to do that? Nah, I'll go to 60. He's doing supplying, that's fine. Ooh, heroic leap, that'll be good. Yes, you want. You actually. Yeah, yeah. So normally you'd be like, "What? Why do you want to go there?" No, you do actually, because there's probably a vampire there, and he has a stake. And yeah, It yes, it's gonna slow you down. I think it is the correct move because you actually really can't afford another vampire to mature, even if it doesn't have a, a token on it. And you have a gun, so and you have escape route. So yeah, this is the correct move. We'll see what it is. If it's a vampire, he will want to play. Oh, does he have escape? He does have escape route. Yeah. All right. And yeah, so as bad as things looked for the hunters, they're actually not doing so bad right now. We know where Dracula is. Rufus Smith is in play. We have two renewed vigor. Well, no, one renewed vigor. That's right, I used one. We have one renewed vigor. Two of the hunters are pretty near where Dracula is. Now he really needs to boogie with Mina. Yeah. Okay, that's unfortunate. Go to 25 and then walk to 20. Now, it's right because renewed vigor is in play, isn't it? Or am I missing something? Now, there's another argument for going to 57, which I hope is what he's doing. Not sure I would do that. He might be playing with iPhone, which is why he's having trouble clicking the things. No, he wants to go to 37. Okay. Oh, renewed vigor wasn't in play. Yeah, then he definitely wanted to go to 25. I don't know why he went to 37. Does he want to scan? So he doesn't need to scan. He knows if Dracula makes landfall, he will know he's in Italy. Scanning will give him zero new information. And that's one thing you need to understand is once you have information and have been able to infer information, you need to not be like, yeah, but I should double check that information. You shouldn't. You can't waste time double checking things in this game, unless it's just an assumption of like, well, I'm pretty sure he went here. Then you do want to double check it. But if it's something that you can deduce, don't double check it because you're wasting actions. And action efficiency is kind of the name of the game. You thought the name of the game was Fury of Dracula 4th edition or Fury of Dracula Digital Edition. That's not true. That's a lie. It's misprinted on the box. The name of the game is actually action point efficiency. So yeah, I'm sorry that I have been spreading around that fake news, calling it Fury of Dracula. But I have been a liar, a violator of the Ninth Commandment, in that there is a game called Action Point Efficiency, and I have not been calling it that. So I will have to publicly repent towards that, so that you all can forgive me, and that I may stop wronging you, as is what a true Christian should do. Because you should confess your sins. Because, if the name of the game is Action Point Efficiency, I should call it that. It may seem like a subtle and not like, oh, that's just a small idea. But no, I shouldn't lie. Okay, so he's wolf formed. He's probably in Bari. Which is why it would have been really nice if he was in 25, because then he could rail up to 58. But that's fine, it's whatever. So the question is, what do we do now? I don't think we use Renewed Vigor. I think maybe next turn we might use Renewed Vigor. Man, it would be so much better if he was down one so that he could use the 2 rail to get to 58. Then he could Renewed Vigor, and with the horses, maybe jump down to, like, a bunch of places. Could be so good. Could be so good. But, what are you going to do? Now, because Wolf Form's on cooldown, or off cooldown, did he use Renewed Vigor? He did use Renewed Vigor. Okay, that's not the end of the world. There's some good uses of Renewed Vigor you can do. You can horse to 59 and then walk to 49. That could be good. What he should not do is go into the boot. And I have a feeling that he is going to go into the boot. He's going to think, oh, I know where Dracula is. He's probably in the boot. Now, he might be in 36. And that's probably worth checking. He could move there, check it, and then, like, horse out. That's not a bad idea, and that's what he's doing. Okay, so let's see if he catches him. Oh my gosh, he did. Well done. He tried to be tricky, and he was too tricky. Now he can supply, which he should do. I think I recorded a game which had a similar sort of circumstance. I guess Marseille is just a death trap for vampires. Yeah, so he should supply here. Yeah, this might be it. And of course, Mina should move in now. Oh, now he has forewarned, so he doesn't have to worry about fog. Um, yeah, just supply. It's not any more complicated than that. Don't search because the forewarned will not protect you at that point. I would yeet the horses actually. Um, but it's fine. It's fine. Not a huge deal. Yeah, you want a three rail here. Okay, I still would have three railed there. Oh right, renewed vigor's in play. Okay, yeah, then never mind. No, this is a good move. Yeah, so you should supply and then move. Don't move in the don't mess it up. I made that mistake. Uh, Unless he wants to trade something like escape route to Mina in case she gets ambushed by a vampire, but like Godleming would have done the vampire thing. She has planned ambush. Yeah, this is gonna go well for the hunters, I think. He's got lucky find. Yeah, just supply and then move. It's the better move. And what you actually I think want to do here is go to the Tyranian to stop him from surprising return. That'll be useful. Yeah, because then if he does escape, and you have to really hope that he doesn't escape as bad, then you can find some places with surprising return. Yeah, supplying first and then moving makes sense to me. Ooh, hoo, 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 yeah. Yeah, normally I can get rid of it. I can understand getting rid of the garlic there. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be good. Now, he might ambush here. We'll see if he does. Now, forewarned is usable here. Use forewarned. Yeah, I would use forewarned. Yeah. And you could argue, oh, but Lord Godleming wasn't the one who was ambushed. That depends on. I'm not sure what I think about that. Lord Godleming was going to be affected. Oh, they both have planned ambush. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. You want to select both. Oh gosh. No, 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 no. Oh my goodness. No. Oh, I guess. Why didn't you play Lucky Find? You don't need your horse. I guess he thinks he already has good items. Okay. I mean they'll probably win anyway. Um. Oh right. Okay. Yeah. He's watched my videos. He's like, okay, I have planned ambush. So I actually open with. So you actually want to open with the dodge, because he's like, okay, the only thing that can't counter is Heavenly Host is the fangs. So yeah, you open with the dodge on both, and then once he's chosen what he does, then you swap it out. Now as Dracula, fangs make sense as a play. The other thing you could play is um, like an escape his bat if you have one, because you know that he's just gonna cancel you, so throw away a nothing card. Um, But no, if you do that, he's just going to stick with a damaging thing. Yeah, I would go with a strength or a fangs. Strength is pretty good because in the event that they don't have heavenly host, it kind of forces them to switch to a non-damagey attack, and that's good. What do we got here? Claws. So yeah, you do want to switch. You do want to switch to heavenly host. Okay, yeah, and he's doing so. So yeah, a good turn of luck can help you. I think this is gonna go for the hunters here. Yeah, two heavenly, and then there's another heavenly host, and then more guns. Yeah, I don't think Dracula can survive this. And then Seward is next to him with the heroic leap. Yeah, don't base your plan on Hunter's stupidity. It would have been way better to just go to Bari, escape to sea, and then go to land. Yeah, the Hunter still might have jumped on him, but this is just really risky because by going to Bari and using that whole tactic, he, yeah, he literally wolf formed towards the Hunters. But it's the kind of thing that totally works when it works, and it's easy for me like, oh, Dracula, you did a bad play. Well, yeah, because it didn't work. I mean, if it worked, it would have been the smartest thing ever. A lot of tactics are often like that. It's like, if this works, we're going to be seen as geniuses, and if it fails, we're going to be seen as idiots. I think you can just go for the rifle and guarantee the. Yeah. This doesn't technically guarantee because it's possible that he fangs Mina, which actually would be that'd actually be really bad because that would get him from 8 to 12, and then all he has to do is get another point to win. Yeah, and that's what he's thinking of. Like, do I want to risk it? I think you still risk it personally because like he's not going to think Mina has a second heavenly host. He's going to think Godwing has a second heavenly host. So if anyone's going to be throwing out a second heavenly host, it's Mina. And so he'll probably now the other argument you could say is like, well, he's probably going to fang somebody for the go for broke play. So just do the punch because it's safer. I can understand that. Um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no, because if he kills Mina here, and then he that won't kill him. He'll gain 2 health from the bite on from the fang attack on Mana. He'll take 2 damage from Godlewing, and then he has a one-on-one with Godlewing, and he has 2 health. And it's like okay, but then he knows what Godlewing has. He knows Godlewing has a gun, and he knows that's all Godlewing has. I think. Okay, well he'll still die. And so if my plan had gone through, Dracula wouldn't have died. So this is the better one. So yeah, this looks like this will be well. It will be a win for the Hunters. Honestly, really well done on the Hunters' part. I know I was getting really debating there and critiquing full or whatever those words are, but yeah, really good job. Really good job checking. It's really easy to be like to miss a spot, and for Dracula's to be like, oh, I'll go for the rarest spot and check that one. But you don't want to do that. You want to have Godspeed.